Hi, I am Dr. Anupama, Ayurveda consultant from Shreshtha Ayurvedic Center, Koramangala, Bangalore. After watching the previous video about diabetes, we got many questions about millets. So in this video, let's talk about some things which will help you to include millets in your daily diet. Millets are small-sized ancient cereal crops grown widely in India. There are many varieties. You may heard you may have heard of little millet, foxtail millet, finger millet, barnyard millet, kodo millet, pearl millet, proso millet, sorghum, etc. In the recent years, you may have noticed the increasing interest in millets. That is because, unlike the refined rice and wheat we are used to consuming, millets have a rich nutrition profile with proteins, carbohydrates, fats, minerals like iron, zinc, and calcium, and most importantly, very good amount of fiber. Because of this, it does not cause sugar spike, an excellent choice for people with diabetes, PCOS, and hypothyroidism. Okay, today let me share some important beginner tips to use millets. Tip number one, it's soaking. Soaking millets is very important. Millets have phytic acid on the outside, which can make it difficult to digest and also prevents the absorption of minerals present in the millets. Wash the millets first thoroughly by rubbing in between your palms and soak it overnight or at least for 6 hours. Tip number two, cook by the draining method. Millets can actually replace rice to be eaten with sambar or rasam. For this, soak the millet overnight or for 6 hours, but do not use the cooker to cook it. Cook it outside in an open vessel with plenty of water and drain the extra liquid after the millets are cooked. After the overnight soaking, millets actually cook really fast. Tip number three. Like I gave examples before, little millet, foxtail millet, etc., there are many varieties of millets and all of them have different properties. So, I would recommend you to try one millet at a time and see the suitability to your body. That's why I would suggest you not to mix millets in the beginning. Because when you use mixed millets in flour or khichdi or any other dish, in case you feel any discomfort, it will become very difficult to understand which one of those millets is not agreeing with you. And also for beginners, I like to suggest barnyard millet because its taste is very similar to rice and it's a good one to start with. Unlike, for example, a ragi or foxtail millet, which have their own unique typical taste. Tip number four, half quantity. I hear from some of my patients that though they are very eager to try millets, when they eat millets, they feel very heavy and hard to digest. It is very important to remember that when we are eating millets, half quantity is quite sufficient. For example, if your regular quantity is 1 cup of rice, half cup of millets will be enough. Keep this in mind. Also, for beginners, I would recommend making idli or dosa with millets because anyway it involves soaking and also the fermentation makes digestion easier. Tip number 5. I have already told you about the fiber content in millets. Fiber absorbs water, so you need to consciously increase your water intake once you start millets. I hear from patients that they get acidity or constipation after eating millets. Try to drink 40 ml per kg body weight of water to avoid these side effects. Tip number 6. Looking at the many benefits of millets, I know there are many people who have completely shifted to a millet based diet. Of course, unless you have a medical reason for this or your doctor's instruction to do this, I would recommend you to rotate your grains and millets. And in the beginning, start with not more than one millet meal in a day. And I also get many questions about consuming millets for people with thyroid issues. My suggestion is that you can avoid bajra or the pearl millet. Last but not the least, do not stock too much millets together. They have a short shelf life and tend to spoil quickly in about 3 months' time. After that, it may taste bitter. Hope this video has given you enough information to start including millets in your daily diet. As always, we are happy to answer your questions. You can send your questions to the WhatsApp number or the email ID provided below. We will do our best to reply. Thank you.